Ndugu yangu nikikwambia between 1950 to 1997 kulikuwa na the 5 type of cars that used to run Kenyan roads. Simple as that. They were the kings, they were the beasts. Even though the condition of African roads were bad, Kenyan roads specifically hazikuwa zinajali. But sasa venye watu waliingia the 2000 era zikapotea kabisa. Still till the end, because this video is going to bring a lot of memories. On the Peugeot 504. Kuisema tu jina yake, you can feel some presence, you can feel some aura.
The Peugeot 504 was born in France in 1968, but it found its true home in Africa. Even the test drive was done in Sahara Desert. Wakitengeneza walikuwa najua wanaitengeneza for tough conditions, and talking about tough conditions, Kenya had plenty of them. Question is, why did Kenya go crazy for this car? Number 1, it was strong. And talking about strength, suspensions za 504 zilikuwa zingine mwecheche. Speed ramps, potholes. Kwa 504 hiyo ilikuwa kama kukunywa maji. Reason number 2, it was big. And talking about space, ilikuwa na capacity ya hold up to more than 1000 cabbages. And reason number 3, mechanics walikuwa wanaipenda kweli kweli. Mbona? The engine was simple. It was so simple, even a local fundi could fix it. So, what happened? Why did it disappear all at once? Why did it vanish? In 1990, Japanese cars started flooding Kenya. So, zilikuwa cheap to buy, cheap to run, na spare parts zilikuwa kila mahali. And slowly, 504 ikaretire. So, if you see one, salute it. Hadi chukua ka selfie. Juu that is a survivor.
And number 2, we have the Volkswagen Beetle. The bag.
Ukweli ni, haka kalikuwa kadudu by that time. The Beetle was everywhere between 1960 to 1980. Na kalikuwa kanatuma watu wafurahie by just existing. Kalitengenezewa Germany in 1930. And the purpose for it to be built, it was for everyone ordinary to afford. The word Volkswagen in German ina mean people's car. And somehow, across the ocean and continents, it ended up being people's car in Kenya too. Najua swali unajiuliza ni, what made it perfect for Kenyan roads? Funny thing, injini yaka kadudu ilikuwa hapa nyuma, na buti yaka kakitu ilikuwa hapa mbele. And automatically, hiyo ina mean haiko na radiator ama water cooling system. Na kalikuwa kana pedo na kategori fulani ya watu. New teachers, university students, politicians, maybe even new professionals. Na kitu yenye ilikuwa inatuma watu wakapende ni its specific engine sound. Kitu ilituma kaanze kufade ni spare parts zake zilianza kukosekana. And even though wanajaribu kutengeneza zingine mpya, the original one can't be replaced. Period.
That 120i was considered an ugly, very stubborn car, but still people loved it. The Datsun 120i ilifika Kenya in the mid 1970s after Japanese car started flooding Kenyan market.
And then another thing about this car, it had a really small engine. 1.2 liter engine is so small. And still, hiyo engine ilikuwa cheap to run. And for a huge number of Kenyan middle class families in the late 1970s and 1980s, the 120i was the family car. Mzee anaipeleka kwa kazi, mama anaitumia for shopping, and Sundays, familia yote and other people wanaingia ndani for church. So what happened? Ikavanish. So kitu ilifanyika, by the early 1990s, Nissan had bought Datsun. 120i started phasing out, and kaboom, new Nissan models arrived. Kina Toyota Corolla and Starlet started flooding the market, and the moment of 120 was over. But bado kuna the 1% are still running.
Then at number 4, we have the Ford Cortina. Ford Cortina was the car for showing off. Ilikuwa gari ya kina civil servants, headmasters, even bank managers. Ilikuwa inaleta ile the vibe ya I'm educated, I'm a serious person.
Ford Cortina was built in Britain and sold across the world in 1960, 1970 na pia 1980, but inassembliwa Kenya at the Kenya Vehicle Manufacturing Plant in Thika. But do you know what made this car to look special? Ilikuwa inakaa poa, straight line, strong proportions. When washed and packed outside the house on Sundays, it had a presence. And not forgetting about space, it had a larger boot. The cultural truth about the Cortina in Kenya, it was a status car without being too much expensive. But it cost more than 120i. Watu wengi walikuwa nasema the proudest moments of their life was buying a Ford Cortina. Ford killed it in 1982. Then Sierra ika-replace it in Europe. In Kenya, it was still running, but eventually, spare parts zikakosekana.
And last but not least, we have the Fiat 127. So before uanze kusema kwani ni kadogo aje, tulia, because this Italian masterpiece was secretly one of the most impressive masterpieces on Kenyan roads.
You know, Italy gave Kenya a lot of good things. Good shoes, great coffee, and then a tiny, brilliant, fearless little car that proved you don't need to be big to be extraordinary. So the Fiat 127 ililaunchiwa in 1971. Then it won the European Car of the Year award in 1972. Ilikuwa front wheel drive, and by that time it was advanced technology. And even though kalikuwa kadogo, the interior was roomy. And something interesting about this car, in 1970s and 80s, it became a good car for the independent women. Kutoka professional women, teachers, nurses, business women, women who made their own choice. Na mbona Fiat 127 ilipendwa? It was manageable, economical, and had a style. So ilianza kufade in the mid 1980s as Fiat moved to the newer models. And so spare parts za the older one zikaanza kukosekana. So today kuona moja, it's like finding a red diamond on the road.
So hizo ndo the 5 legends: the VW Beetle, Ford Cortina, Datsun 120Y, Fiat 127 and the Peugeot 504. Hizi gari zote zinaweza kuwa zilivanish kitambo, but as long as tunaziweka in our minds, they are never finished. Drive safe, enjoy your road, till next time.